Hey everybody, and thanks so much for joining me on my channel this week. If you're anything like me, you may have had your shares of ups and downs with weight loss over the years. I know for me personally, losing weight has been something that I've been pretty well struggling with for most of my life. Today I want to talk a little bit about our relationship that we have with the scale and follow that up with how my week 15 went with Weight Watchers. Now, I want you to think back to a time when you started a new plan and you have been working the plan on point. You've increased your water, you've watched the types of foods that you eat, you have perhaps eliminated food groups, you've been exercising and moving your body, and there it is. It's that time of either the day, the week, or the month that you now have to weight yourself. You hop on the scale, only to find that nothing has changed, or worse, you have gained weight. This can bring on a lot of different feelings for you, whether it's feelings of self-doubt, you might begin to feel like you're a failure, and over time, you might begin to dread going on the scale, especially if this is something you are seeing repeatedly. Our obsession with the scale starts to creep in when we are on a new weight loss journey. Perhaps our joints are starting to hurt or our clothes don't fit as well. This is generally why the majority of people will seek out something new to try. Over the course of the last few years, for me personally, I have tried to shift the way I think. I've gone from a place where I need to lose weight and focus on the number that I see on the scale to now trying to live a life where I am living with health and wellness, and I can move my body and not focus so much just on the number that's on the scale. The number that's on the scale holds some importance, but it's not 100% of what your health journey should be. I was totally someone that would get easily discouraged by the result that I saw on the scale. I've done all the right things, I've made all the right moves, and there I was, not getting my reward. I'm supposed to be rewarded. I've sacrificed all of these things. I'm sure you've felt the same way at some point. Can't just be me. Anyways, in those moments I would become defiant. My internal saboteur would rear its ugly head, and I would find a way in those moments to make myself feel better. I would find a new reward, and it was probably leading me to a food reward. I might go get fast food because I've gone without fast food for X amount of time. So in those moments, I would just go on an emotional bender. Really, at the end of the day, that's what it was. And, if I was off track, I ended up making it a real doozy. Because if it's bad, I'm going to make it really bad. Over time, after following multiple different plans, whether I was doing keto, whether I was doing the Subway diet, Oprah's boot camp, I did Weight Watchers in the 90s, I did Weight Watchers in the early 2000s, and here I am doing Weight Watchers again. Whatever the plan was, I really began to realize that what I was doing, even though I was applying all the right steps, my thought behind it was just focused on the number. And so I had to shift that way of thinking. And so it was really in about 2017, 2018, when I was doing keto for about 9 months, that I started to create a mantra for myself. I'm going to share that with you, the things that I used to tell myself. You could try it, it might work for you, you never know. It's certainly something that has helped me over the years. I would literally just look in my bathroom mirror and I would repeat to myself out loud. I'd look deep into my eyes and I would search for my soul. And I would say, no matter what happens on the scale today, you've made all the right choices. You have done all the right things. It's going to be okay, whether the scale stays the same, whether it moves up, or whether it moves down. It's going to be okay. And this is something that really helped me. I would say this before I stepped on the scale. And you know what happened? Week after week, I survived. No matter what the number was, I realized in those moments that I got this, this was going to be okay, because I told myself it was going to be okay. You might ask yourself, why does the body fluctuate so much in the weight that we hold? There's really no scientific way to say the scale needs to go down just because you're doing all the right things. The body actually carries a 5-pound window that would be considered in the normal range, whether it's 5 pounds down or 5 pounds up. That would all be with a normal range with any body. The human body itself is a very magnificent system. It's got a lot of things going on all at the same time to keep your body breathing and living and moving every second of every day. Now, perhaps you've had a big meal. Perhaps you have had different vitamins and nutrients that are trying to break down in your system. Perhaps the food you ate is still trying to process and work its way down into your bowels. Perhaps you're a woman and you might be getting a menstrual cycle. Maybe if you're older or younger, you've got hormonal changes going on. There's really so many factors that can attribute to why our bodies would be holding weight, holding water, even as far as exercise. You're building muscle, right? Things are happening in your system. So anything that we try to do, when we try to change our nutrients and the things that we're doing on a daily basis, the body tries to go into a survival mode to say, hey, this doesn't feel right. I need to keep that water. I need to keep those fluids. I need to keep this system going because this is what feels right and what feels normal. And so it's normal for your body to be feeling the way it's feeling. It's normal for your body to have those fluctuations on a daily basis. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but if you get on the scale in the morning, you're one weight. Then you have a bowel movement and you could be another weight. And then by the end of the night, you're a completely different weight. It's completely normal to have those fluctuations. Now, I'm not saying that you should avoid the scale altogether. That can actually have its own repercussions down the road. Perhaps I will use that for another video because I've totally been there too. But what I'm saying is, if you are the type of person that weighs yourself once a day, once a week, or once a month, however it is for you, changing your relationship with the scale is what is most important. I'm challenging you to start thinking differently about your relationship with the scale. You are more than just a number. The scale is only used as one form of measurement. It's just a tool. It's not the whole picture. It's one tool in your wellness journey. So I want you to think about other ways that you can measure your success in how you're doing. What other tools might you be able to use? I'll start you off with a few. Perhaps it's just starting with your clothes. How do they fit? How do they feel when you move in your body? That's generally a good area to start, especially if you have something old that you're hoping to get back into. I would start there for sure. Maybe it's receiving compliments. Really looking at yourself through someone else's eyes. What is it that you see when you see that? What about taking photos or taking measurements of your body? These are all tools that can be used that go beyond the scale. How are you feeling? How are you sleeping? Maybe if you struggle with sugar or cholesterol or blood pressure, what are your results? What's happening when you go to the doctor's office? These are all different ways that we can measure our success on health and wellness. I invite you to share maybe some things that you have been trying by writing it in the comments down below. I know I'm always looking for new ways to kind of focus on my own personal data. So if you have something to share, I would love to hear what you've been working on. So last Monday, I was able to complete my weekly check-in on the Weight Watchers app. I'm happy to report that I am 2.4 pounds down for last Monday for a grand total of 32.4 gone. And I hope that's gone forever. Overall, my week went really well. I made a lot of good food choices. I was busy with work and busy in my personal life. And so these are all things that I feel is leading to my success with the Weight Watchers program right now. I wanted to share some of my non-scale victories that really stood out for me before my check-in last Monday. So one of them was that I can bend so much easier. We have a couple of plum trees out back, and there I was fertilizing the base of the tree, and I was noticing to myself, oh my goodness, I can bend. I can really bend, and I'm not out of breath. I am breathing and I am playing in the dirt, and it was totally fine. The other thing I noticed is that I just feel like my step is becoming lighter. It's just an amazing feeling to have that effortless kind of step. You know, you kind of stand tall and you feel lighter in your step. I can only imagine what it's going to feel like the further I get into my journey. Food choices have been going really well. As I mentioned in a previous video, which I will link up here, I have been doing Ramadan this month, and so with that comes fasting from sun up to sundown. This has been working really well for me this year, and I'm just super happy with the results and just generally how I've been feeling. Typically in previous years, I've been doing Ramadan now for quite a number of years, you know, we would eat our food and then I would go to bed, and oh my goodness, the heartburn that I would feel from eating so late with the types of foods I was eating was just out of this world. But I am so thrilled that this year I have had zero heartburn. I've actually had zero heartburn since starting Weight Watchers. So that just goes to show, you know, eating healthfully can have some other huge success, again, just to reiterate, that go beyond the scale. I'm going to wrap it up here, but I will leave you with a quote today. Your best weight is whatever weight you reach when you are living the healthiest life that you actually enjoy living. If you haven't done so already, I invite you to like this video, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. And if you would like to be notified when I upload a new video each week, hit that little bell and I'd be happy to do that for you. I hope you're all staying well and keeping healthy this week. Wear your mask, wash your hands. I hope you're getting a good sleep and the rest that you need. Regardless, I hope you are taking time for you, even if it's just 5 seconds to just breathe. Thank you so much. We'll see you again next week.